Thank you. Nice to be here.
Jay, how have you tried to make it different this year? We're celebrating 20 years of South Africa's democracy.
Well, I think without us even calling out for it, a number of works that we received in terms of the selection had to do with the democracy and had to do with a kind of a critical look as well as a celebratory look with regards to the democracy. As I say in my curatorial note, where just as with Madiba's passing, as much as it was a time of mourning, it was also a time of celebration. And so I think as a nation, we're quite complex that way. We understand these various dynamics, and I think a lot of the work referenced the 20-year democracy, but also in a critical as well as a celebratory way.
Considering that, I mean, Cape Town is the world design capital, have you tried to sort of work that into Infecting the City this year?
Well, I think the festival itself epitomizes many of the ideals of the World Design Capital brief, which is largely to foreground design and foregrounding design and art, yes. But for the service of the people, for the service of the inhabitants of the city, and not just for a select few. And that's what the Infecting the City Festival achieves and has been achieving for the past few years. So it underlies that, but it has been inimical to the festival that, because a lot of the idea behind a public art festival is both an investigation of the public relationship, the relationship between publics and spaces, the taking very, very difficult issues through art in public, but it's also about taking work, beautiful, entertaining work as well out of the theatres and galleries, mm-hmm. and putting them into the city. And I think in that way we're bringing design, we're bringing art into the city, and I think fulfilling the brief of the World Design Capital, which I think it's a good fit.
Yeah, give us an overview of what people can look forward to this year.
Well, we're saying that this year the festival has fewer works than last year, but mm-hmm. the works are much more authoritative. They're larger. They're much more involved. They're technically much more involved. We have, for example, Francesco Lopez from he's currently in Amsterdam, is a solo artist. A solo artist, sound composer who has created these incredibly beautiful soundscapes, and we're going to put that in the center for the book. Anke Kroch, who is also Anke Kroch's poetry, will be reflected through Jill Richards' work in the Slave Church, and then we're bringing back Naomi Younger again, mm-hmm. to do Toriso, this beautiful work, which is also going to be staged in the center for the book. We've got these incredibly intimate dance works which we are staging on the street. So choreographers like Sean Olaf and Grant van Steur and Mamela Nyamza are staging these very, very personal works that are staged on the street, and it's called. Excuse me. The series is called Private Moments in Public Spaces, and it's a way of bringing to life these really, really intimate moments and how we relate with each other intimately, but out in public. So there are quite a few conceptual works as well. We've got a work from Berlin, mm-hmm. which is called Surveillance, which deals with notions of surveillance in the inner city and cameras and plays with a double entendre of feeling safe in the city, but at the same time being watched all the time. As a result, there are quite a few video projections and productions. I guess mainly the works go on a variety of continuums, and a variety of themes. And I think the idea is to arrive at a work, for example, at an opera. There's an incredibly experimental opera called Say Yes or Die, which is experimental, but you arrive, you settle, you watch that, and you move on.
Okay.
As you know, the festival. Yes, sorry.
Sorry, it sounds very exciting,
There's a lot
but we
to
need
talk
to cut
about.
it there. We could talk all day about
Thank you.
Infecting the City.
There's a
but
lot.
Thank you so much for
there are
talking
many,
to us.
many works.
Oh, he is the curator of Infecting the City, Jay Pether, talking to us about the great artistic collaborations that will be taking place all over Cape Town in the coming weeks. Well, we'll bring him back in the studio to tell us more a little later when the festival is on. It is free, and Africa Centre is inviting you all to come and experience the arts at its best. Well, let's take a break.